So look, I wasn't planning on making a video today. I was just planning on just taking a little bit of a day off, you know, spend some time with the family, and I was just going to complete the Witch Queen campaign on my hunter. And yeah, Malfeasance caught my attention so hard, I felt the need to give you a video, because you need to take a look at this. So I was out and about just trying to complete the campaign for my hunter. I hadn't done it yet, and typically what I like to do is I like to throw together builds with exotics that I don't plan on using in PvP, you know, stuff that just to kind of, you know, get to play with them a little bit. There's a lot of stuff in the game and I want to be able to experiment around, and I decided to throw on Malfeasance with a handful of other mods and exotics, and I found out that it is absolutely incredible. And this particular setup is the most versatile build I have ever played in PvE. Now, again, I don't play a lot of PvE, not really my thing. So for this to catch my attention and for me to go, wow, it's worth giving a listen to. So in case you don't know, Malfeasance had a slew of buffs come through. First of all, it's now capable of dealing 40% extra damage to red bars, so you're able to deal more damage to just trash type mobs, which is great because this thing has a pretty deep magazine, and that's something it kinda struggled with previously, so you can chew through those pretty easily. It's great for a little bit of ad clear. Also, because of its recent increase in its explosion, so when you stack these 5 of these slugs in there, it'll do those explosions with just its intrinsic perk. That now deals 50% more damage, so also another thing. Great. Those two by itself already make this thing a pretty big powerhouse. It allows it to deal with chunkier enemies okay, and it allows it to deal with smaller enemies with ease. But there is a sort of perfect storm of everything happening within the game right now to make the Malfeasance in particular so damn powerful. Now, the Lucky Pants used to just give you an increase of accuracy and draw speed, but now they'll increase the damage of your hand cannon as long as you keep firing. Now, on slower firing hand cannons, this takes a little while for it to get stacked up. On faster firing hand cannons, such as the 180 Malfeasance, this can get stacked up to 10 times the damage really quickly. With the combination of Malfeasance doing its increased damage per the 50% bonus damage to the slugs, as well as the Lucky Pants dealing that increased damage very quickly, you can get to that damage very quickly, this allows you to just chew through chunkier enemies. Now, how this caught my attention, and unfortunately, I was so taken aback by it, and I wasn't planning on making a video today. This was supposed to be an off day. I didn't even record it, but I was going to do the last fight. Spoiler warning, you have been warned. Get out now if you have not completed the Witch Queen campaign. I was going to fight Savathun, and I was taking this build in. This build had been doing me very well up to this point, but I haven't fought a serious boss yet, like a really good boss with this particular build. I got to Savathun, the first encounter for the first time you fight her, and I did a little under half of her health with just a grenade, my super, and the Malfeasance. Now, this super is also terrific, and this whole build is the whole thing that you're going to be going for if you're looking for the most well-rounded build you've ever seen. And this is something I encourage people to play in the new raid, because there's a lot of different circumstances. You're going to need just a little bit of versatility with this, and this does this in spades. And all the other mods I'd set up to this, more or less at random, has come together to just perform a perfect synergy and a perfect symphony of destruction and harmony for you to enjoy. I'd like to go through and talk about how this build got built, as well as what each component is doing for you, so you can have a really strong PvE build for yourself. I know I've talked this thing up a lot. I know the gameplay in the background might not be the best representative of this thing. If it helps in terms of understanding what you're looking at here, I am 2 levels above the light level of this activity, so not by a significant margin, and you can see I am not struggling at all. By myself, not struggling whatsoever. I breezed through the campaign with this setup. So let's actually talk about this and stop fluffing around, shall we? Besides the obvious Malfeasance Lucky Pants, I am running this with the glaives. Now, the glaive doesn't have as much power right now because suppressing glaive is currently disabled. That being said, when suppressing glaive comes back online, oh dear God, is this going to be even more ridiculous? I'm running a threat detector, unstoppable force combo with this. I'm also running a royal entry. This is another void grenade launcher, rocket launcher. I have Genesis and Concarters on this with a boss spec. There's better rocket launchers out there. This one's pretty damn solid. I'm able to get 2 shots off with relative ease. For the setup of the subclass itself, I'm running a Marksman's Dodge, Triple Jump. This is purely personal preference, obviously. Snare Bomb. I'm running Vortex Grenade, and I'm finding that Vortex Grenade might be my favorite thing for PvE because it's able to deal a bit of crowd control. and I'm running that with Vanishing Step and Trapper's Ambush. This is honestly something I took in from the PvP scene, and it's been working great. I'm able to stay off the radar whenever I need to, and that can come in handy if you get yourself in a pinch. Now for the actual aspects, this is important. We recently, or I should say fragments, we recently got a handful of new fragments, and I was just experimenting with them when I came into this. So first of all, I'm running something we've already had, which is Echo of Undermining, which gives our Void Grenades Weaken, which is perfect for what we're doing for the rest of it, which is the Echo of Starvation. Picking up Orbs of Power, Grant, Devour. That rhymed. These Orbs of Power are very, very consistent with this weapon, and getting them off of the weaken effect of the grenade, and we are also increasing the duration of the weaken grenade, makes this just so good at debuffing everything on the field on top of your smoke. And if you get a precision kill, you're able to get an Orb of Power, which not only feeds into your super, but also gives you Devour, upping your survivability on top of everything else this is doing with your invisibility. Solid. But for the armor mods themselves, I think this is where this is particularly shining. Let's start with the helmet. I have here a pretty standard setup. I have a recovery mod, hand cannon targeting because it's cheap, and kinetic siphon. This is just so that my Malfeasance is able to generate Orbs of Power for me, which again, procs Devour. Great, easy. And I have Volatile Flow, picking up Void Elemental Well, grants a volatile round to my weapon. Volatile rounds and explosions are great at dealing crowd control and DPS to enemies, and we're going to be able to proc this really consistently on top of the damage that the Malfeasance is doing. We're combining this together with a simple setup for our Unstoppable Hand Cannon, which again, Malfeasance, just another perfect storm for Malfeasance. Hand cannon dexterity really isn't necessary. I just, again, had it in there because I wasn't expecting this to be good. I'm running Reaping Well Maker. After activating your class ability, your next weapon final blow on a combatant spawns a Void Elemental Well. Perfect and easy. If you're in a situation where you need to get the heck out of dodge, more than likely you're going to be breaking your invisibility by shooting something, and you're likely to be killing that target, especially with the weapons that you have here. This will allow you to get your Void Well up and going and get your volatile rounds, as well as a couple other things we're going to be doing here. For our chest, we're just doing some rocket launcher reserves just so I can have a little bit more rounds. Again, honestly isn't even necessary. And I'm running elemental armaments, combatant weapon final blows with the damage type that matches your subclass element, has an escalating chance to spawn an elemental well, being that the glaive by default, unless you get a new glaive, which is why I was doing this whole thing. I was doing it to get the freaking exotic glaive, and I got time gated, and this all came together. You're going to be able to get a lot of glaive kills. This will allow you to get more of that glaive energy and damage through the volatile rounds, as well as what we're also doing in the last bit, which is Font of Wisdom. All of this is playing into getting our super. The super right now that we're running this, I guess I should have mentioned that earlier. We are running the Mobius Quiver, which allows us to fire those 3 shots volleys at once. It is a ridiculous amounts of damage by default. It's like 600,000 damage with both volleys landing on the target. All of this is being designed around getting those volatile rounds and getting our super energy back. But for our main bread and butter, it is just a simple combination of the Lucky Pants and the Malfeasance. These two in combination make it so that you are capable of handling basically any situation. This little combo can not only handle red bars with ease because of the increased bonus damage to Malfeasance through all exotic primaries now dealing extra bonus damage, but because of the Malfeasance increase in its slug explosion damage is great for dealing with yellow bars and up. And then if you're trying to DPS a boss, just make sure that you have your glaive out, swap 2 from the Lucky Pants to your Malfeasance, and then start chunking damage into the head. You will be very pleasantly surprised with how powerful it is. You can even just maybe turn the gun on some of the smaller ads that are around that are a little bit chunkier and just start dealing like 16,000 damage with a body shot. It is incredible. I really recommend giving you this a try because, again, like I said, I don't do PvE builds. I don't. So for the fact that this is catching my attention, yeah. Anyway, I could rant about this for a while. This was incredibly fun. Seriously, give this a try. Let me know what you think. Bless your faces. Deuces.